budding scientists. Welcome to Study Spectrum in Rohit sir ki class. Today we are going to discuss about Maharashtra State Board's Standard 8, Subject Science, Chapter number 10, Sources of Energy. Let's start discussing about what exactly energy is. Where do we use energies in our day-to-day life? Just remember, just recollect, what is the first thing we do when we wake up in the morning? We have a bath with hot water. How do we heat that water? We actually use the electrical energy to convert it into a heat energy. Temperature rises of the water in the electric geyser. If we are using the gas geyser, we are using that LPG as a source of energy. Where do we else use this LPG as a source of energy? After the bath, we have a breakfast, we have a glass of water, glass of milk. To make that milk hot and warm, we again boil it. For boiling, we use this LPG as a source of energy. LPG is a gas, you know all that. It comes in the LPG cylinders. Actually, after burning, this gas produces the heat energy. With the use of this heat energy, we actually boil the milk. Then we can have it. Likewise, once we are prepared, we go to the school. We go to the school in school bus or maybe rickshaws or in the car. How these vehicles run around the city? Actually, we have to pour into the petrol or diesel. Now, in this case, this petrol and diesel become the source of energy. After the combustion, after the burning, these oils, this petrol and diesel, they actually convert it into some other form of energy, utilizing it, which these vehicles actually move. These vehicles gain the kinetic energy. So there are different forms of energies. There is a potential energy, there is a kinetic energy, there is a heat energy. And whatever may be the format of the energy, energy can always be transformed from one form to another form. So human beings are utilizing different form of energies through different sources since ages. Can you imagine since when these human beings must have started using the heat energy? In the era when humans used to live in the jungles, in the caves, that time he didn't used to do the farming, he used to do the hunting for the purpose of food. That time human beings, the early human beings must have discovered the firewood, utilizing which they used to start the fire, and they used to utilize that heat energy to roast the animals they have hunted, and this is how they used to have their meal. So since long ago, since the ages, humans have started utilizing different form of energies from different sources. Now, let's discuss what is exactly the fuel. As I told you, in the morning when we want to boil the milk, we utilize LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, as a fuel. When we want to move through the car or the school bus, we need to pour in the diesel or petrol. This petrol or diesel again become the fuel for the vehicles. What is this fuel exactly? Fuel is the substance which produces the heat energy after burning. Any substance that creates the heat energy after burning becomes the fuel. There are n number of fuels, n number of types of fuels available, out of which the main source of energy in today's era are the fossil fuels. What are these fossil fuels and how they are formed? Let's go into the past. There were the ages when there was no human being on the earth. There were only animals and the plants throughout the planet Earth. Now, scientists tells us that there were the remnants of the dead plants or animals which were actually buried into the land. They were buried deep down into the soil, and those remnant of the plants or animals which were actually conserving the chemical energy of biodegradable substances, those got transformed into the fuels. Those got transformed into the fossil fuels. Why they are called as fossil fuels? Because these fuels have been formed with the help of remnant of plants and animals. Now, just imagine, once the plants or animals are dead and they are buried deep down into the soil, there was the tremendous pressure of the layers of the soil from above. There was a tremendous pressure, and at the same time there was the tremendous heat from beneath down of the ground. At the core of the earth there is a tremendous heat. We all know that. Due to that heat only we get the lava from the volcanoes. So there is a tremendous heat deep down there into the soil at the center of the earth. With the help of this heat and the tremendous pressure from the layers of the soil, these remnants of the plants and animals, those got transformed into the fuels. Those are called as the fossil fuels. These fossil fuels are available in all three states, in solid state, in liquid, as well as gaseous states also. When we talk about the solid state, we have majorly coal. We all know that we utilize this coal for the burning, and coal generates the tremendous amount of the heat when it is burned. When we talk about the liquid state fossil fuels, we have petrol, diesel, oils, and about the gaseous, there are a number of gases which we call as the natural gases. These all are the sources of energy nowadays, and from past many hundred years humans are utilizing these sources of energy, and they are depleting day by day. Now this is the matter of concern actually. Why? Because these fossil fuels actually they took millions of lakhs of years to form. Nature have formed these sources of energy. Nature has formed these fossil fuels in due course of millions of years. That means these fossil fuels take so long to get created that right now whatever we are left with, those are the only sources we have. We cannot create these fossil fuels in the laboratory. Those are created in nature only, and nature takes so long to create these fossil fuels. It is not possible for human beings to create it within a short time. So these are non-renewable sources of energy. For burning, apart from the coal, what do we use? There are different other options also. We use firewood, we use cow dung, we use charcoal also. Do you know how much energy is created when we burn the firewood? Even in the today's era, in the rural India, there are many places where they don't have LPG connections at their home. For day-to-day cooking, they utilize this firewood as a source of energy. They use this wood as a fuel. They burn this wood and get the heat energy. And actually, this firewood creates around 1700 kilojoules energy when 1 kg of firewood is burned. What is the joule? Joule is a unit of energy. Kilojoule means 1000 joules. So 1 kilogram of firewood, when it is burned, it creates around 1700 kilojoules of energy. It's a vast energy, right? But friends, it is very, very less as compared to the heat generated while burning the coal. When we compare the wood with the coal, coal is a fossil fuel in a solid state. So we have limited source of coal with us, and wood is, we get wood from the trees. So trees is the renewable source. But when we compare wood with coal, wood generates around 1700 kilojoules of energy when 1 kg of wood is burned. It is so much less as compared to the heat energy produced by 1 kg of coal when it is burned. the matter of concern once again. For the utilization of firewood for burning purpose, for creation of the heat energy, there is tremendous depletion of the forest. There is a tremendous deforestation which has actually endangered many species of the plants on the earth. So we should utilize these sources of energy with sense of responsibility. Sparing use of such sources of energy is recommended nowadays. Well, this was about the solid source of energy which we get from the plants or which we get from the fossil fuels. When wood is burnt in the presence of insufficient air, insufficient oxygen, charcoal is formed. Now this charcoal is also a very good source of energy. Also, this charcoal burns smokeless. It doesn't create any kind of smoke. Why? Because wood has already burned to create the charcoal. So whatever matter is there which actually creates the smoke has been burnt out. The smoke is already created through that combustion. Now whatever is left has got something to burn, but it doesn't create any smoke. So charcoal is a better option than wood. Same thing about the liquid fuel class. Liquid fuel, fossil fuels. Which are those? All the mineral oils which we utilize for any kind of combustion, those are called as the liquid fossil fuels. Now just think, for any kind of combustion we need that fuel, right? Even if we want to light up the lamp before our worship place, we need to put an oil into the lamp. Once it is running out of the oil, it cannot light up. So oil becomes the fuel, the source of energy in that lamp. Likewise, there are many fossil fuels which we found in the liquid state. Those are all mineral oils. After refining those, we get petrol, we get diesel and other mineral oils. We get white petrol. We utilize these fuels at different places. For vehicles to move, we utilize petrol and diesel. There are other liquid natural fossil fuels which are utilized in the furnaces of big industries. Generally, these fossil fuels, these liquid fossil fuels, these mineral oils are obtained around 11,000 meters deep down the ground. 11,000 meters. That amounts to 11 kilometers. If we start making the journey towards the center of the earth, from the surface of the earth, if we travel around 11 kilometers, then only we can reach up to the sources of these mineral oils. They are formed so deep down. So this can give you an idea that these oils, these mineral oils, these fossil fuels, they are formed of remnant of the plants and animals. How long back this process must have started? Generally, scientists tell us that this coal is formed from the remnant of the plants, and all the mineral oils and mineral gases, natural gases, these are formed from the remnant of marine plants and animals. There is a difference between coal and the mineral oils and the gases. Now friends, let's come to the gases, the natural gases. Those also serve as the very good source of energies. After combustion, after burning, they create the heat energy. And natural gases are actually more friendly sources than mineral oils and coal. Why so? Because natural gases are highly combustible. They start burning very easily. They burn smokelessly, and more importantly, they don't leave any residue.
No more spending your energy and money on coaching classes or missing classes for rain, for rally, in any other nonsense. Subjects covered by multiple teachers with repeat telecasts. Doubts, concepts, applications, no problem. All explained through great and significant animation. So sit back comfortably in your home and watch Study Spectrum TV channel.
Natural gases are very good sources of the energy. They start burning very effortlessly. They are highly combustible and mainly they burn without leaving any residue behind. Neither solid residue nor any gaseous residue, or we can say a smoke. They generally burn smokelessly. What are the different natural gases we get? Methane, butane, propane. All these are different types of natural gases which are actually a very good source of natural energy. But what is the issue is, all these fossil fuels, those are limited. These are the non-renewable sources of energy. And these take altogether years, the lakhs of years to get created. So we have very limited sources of this fossil fuel, so it's needed to utilize them wisely. Now just imagine how all this energy is trapped into these fossil fuels. Obviously, it takes millions of lakhs of years to fossil fuels get created. But how the energy is trapped into it? Where this energy comes from? What is the ultimate source of energy? We all know, in our solar system, only sun is the source of energy. Sun is the ultimate source of energy. The solar energy gets converted into different types of energies when it comes to the earth. Like plants or animals, they absorb this solar energy and convert it into a chemical energy. They store it in the form of chemical energy into their bodies. And once these are died, some of the remnant of these plants and animals, after the process of the millions of years, they convert this chemical energy into a fuel, whatever fossil fuels we get nowadays. So this is the cycle of energy on the earth. Once we utilize this energy again gets converted into a heat energy. So sun is the ultimate source of energy in our solar system. Earth receives all the energy from the sun only. This solar energy gets transformed into different kind of energies, different forms of energies once it enters into atmosphere of the earth. Plants absorb this solar energy, convert it into the food with the help of chlorophotosynthesis, and convert this solar energy into a chemical energy. Herbivorous animals are actually fed upon these plants. They digest this through the metabolism, through the chemical processes. It converts that plants stored chemical energy into some other kind of energy. So plants and animals ultimately absorb this solar energy and convert it into a chemical energy and store it in their bodies. Once animals and plants are dead, after the biodegradation, this energy is released back into the soil. Some of the remnant of this plant and animals, those don't get biodegraded. Those get trapped into the layers of the soil deep down in the earth, and the millions of years processes and creates the fossil fuel. So this is the cycle of energy on the earth. How much energy we receive from the sun? Can you imagine the amount of energy we receive from the sun every year? That energy counts to be 7 multiplied by 10 raised to 17 kilowatts. We even can't imagine how tremendous amount of energy is that. Okay, let me give you an example. On the earth, whatever energy we utilize for our living, for different kind of things, not only human beings but also for plants, and animals. If we count all this energy, whatever energy we require throughout the year, that much energy is supplied by the sun just in a 40 minutes. Can you imagine that? That much tremendous energy we keep on receiving on the earth from sun, and that too without any cost. So what is important is, actually sun is the ultimate source of energy and we are receiving the tremendous amount of energy from it. The only point is how to harness it, how to utilize that solar energy for our day-to-day course, so that we stop utilizing these fossil fuels as a source of energy and those stocks can be conserved with. Now there are different technologies coming up. There are solar cookers, there are solar heaters. So utilizing those, we can cook, we can heat the water, we can boil the whatever we want with the help of solar energy. There are some of the technologies coming up nowadays. There are solar lanterns, there are solar batteries. These solar batteries get charged with the help of solar energy in daytime, and those batteries can be utilized for producing the light and heat energy at the night time when there is no sun. Same way, the lanterns, those get charged up with the help of solar energy and they produce the light in the night. So this is how we can utilize the solar energy with the help of different technologies. Not only solar energy, but there are n number of unconventional sources of energies present nowadays. Just like a solar energy, there is a wind energy, there is a water energy, tidal energy. With the use of flowing water, we can create the hydroelectricity. So there are hydroelectricity power stations available with us. There is the plant of biogas, biodiesels. These are the different sources of unconventional energy. These are the actually renewable sources. These are not limited sources, right? Sun, wind, water, all these are natural elements, and those are there since the ages, even before the human being existed, even before the life existed on the earth. Sun was there, wind was there, water was there. So these are the undepleting, these are the renewable sources of energies. We just have to think about how to harness the energy from it, how to convert these energies into our regular utilization. If we compare between these fossil fuels and all these unconventional sources of energy, whichever we discussed about, the solar energy, the tidal, hydroelectric sources of energies, if we compare these fossil fuels, the conventional sources of energies, and these unconventional sources of energies, what we get? Actually, the conventional sources of energies are very easy to use because we already have the technologies to utilize these sources of energies. It's very easy to create the energy utilizing these conventional sources of energy. The main question, the main challenge before human beings is how to harness these unconventional sources of energies, how to utilize the solar energy up to optimum level, how to utilize this tidal power, how to use the hydroelectric power to create that much energy. Because nowadays population is growing like anything. With the increase in population, industrialization is growing, and there is day by day increasing need of energy. Currently, we cannot utilize only unconventional sources of energy to meet the need of all these increasing needs of energies, of this industrialization, this increasing population. So again, automatically, use of conventional sources of energy becomes very easy option for us. But actually, using these conventional sources of energy, using fossil fuels, using diesels, petrols, using coal, using natural gases, that actually has created many other problems also. The main issue is of pollution. Combustion of the coal, combustion of the petrols and diesels that create the tremendous amount of carbon dioxide. It creates the air pollution. And this huge amount of carbon dioxide into the air, that's why heat is trapped into the air and there is a crisis of global warming. Everybody is facing this crisis throughout the globe. Temperature of the earth is growing day by day. Air pollution is there. Now, we have already known that there is a hole in the layer of ozone just because of these fluorocarbons. All these are the gifts of utilization of the fossil fuels actually. Different technologies uses the fossil fuels for creation of the energy, but they give us the byproduct which are actually harmful for our life, for our environment. Ozone layer is depleting. Now there is a hole in the ozone layer at the polar region. Through that hole, all the harmful rays are coming onto the earth. Those harmful rays, if fallen directly on our skin, it can cause the skin cancer also. So, even if conventional sources of energies are very easy to use, we should concentrate on how to harness the energy of these unconventional sources of energies, how to harness this energy from renewable sources of energy. Unlimited deforestation, cutting of the trees for firewood, that has endangered many species of the plants. Deforestation is creating another issue of erosion of the soil. The natural sources, the soil which actually makes the proper bed for farming, is depleting day by day due to the decreasing amount of plantation on the earth. Temperature is increasing, and now we have already known that due to the global warming, polar ice is also melting and seawater levels are rising day by day. So there are a number of issues related with the use of this conventional fossil fuels utilization as a source of energy. Apart from these unconventional renewable sources of energy which we discussed about, which are solar energy or tidal energy, hydroelectric energy, wind energy, biogas energy, there is another source of energy which is called as atomic energy. Do you know anything about it? What is atomic energy? There is an element named as uranium. It is a very heavy element. When the nucleus of this uranium atom is bombarded with the neutron, with that collision, that nucleus is burst out and more neutrons are released, and side by side huge amount of heat energy is created in this process. Now the released neutrons get bombarded on so n number of other nucleus of another atoms of the uranium, and it becomes the chain reaction. Actually it is controllable chain reaction when it is in the atomic centers. So with the help of this controlled chain reaction, we can create a tremendous amount of heat. This is what we call as an atomic source of energy. Utilizing this energy, we are utilizing the heat energy to create the electricity. In general, electricity generation powers, what we utilize for creation of the heat, we use coal. At the hydroelectric power station, we utilize water flow to rotate the turbines, to create the electricity. But at atomic centers of electricity, we utilize this uranium and the controlled chain reaction to create the heat necessary to generate the electricity. Such center is at Tarapur in Maharashtra. It is also there in the Surat district in Gujarat. Now government is planning to create more such centers where we can utilize this nuclear source of energy more and more, so that we can stop utilizing or we can reduce our utilization of the coal. because we have very limited sources available with us, being a fossil fuel. So friends, when we are discussing about the sources of energy, there are majorly two sources of energy we can think about. One is the conventional source of energy, which is non-renewable, and there are unconventional source of energy, which is renewable. In conventional source of energy, we get fossil fuels, mainly fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are created from the remnant of the plants and animals which were buried deep down in the soil millions of years ago. Due to the tremendous pressure of the layers of the soil from above and tremendous heat energy from below, from beneath, from the center of the earth, those remnants of the plants and animals got converted into fossil fuel. We get these fossil fuels into all three states: solid states, coal; liquid states, mineral oils; and gaseous states, natural gases. Apart from coal, we also use firewood, cow dung, charcoal for burning purpose for creation of the heat energy. But utilization of these conventional fossil fuels has got limitations because it has got byproduct also. It creates the pollution, air pollution. It emits the carbon dioxide, and the excess amount of carbon dioxide creates the heat into atmosphere, due to which there is a crisis of global warming. So we should start thinking about the harnessing the energy from unconventional renewable sources of energy. Which are those? Sun is the ultimate source of energy. Solar energy is there, tidal energy is there, hydroelectric energy is there, biogas energy is there, and also there is atomic source of energy in which uranium is utilized for creation of the heat energy with the help of controlled chain reaction. So friends, this was all about the sources of energy. These were the different kind of sources, their properties and their pros and cons. Let's go through the question and answer. Let's go through the first question. First question is, answer the following questions. First, what is meant by fuel? Friends, fuel is any substance which actually produces the heat energy after burning. That is what we call as a fuel. Second, name the different type of fossil fuels. What are the different type of fossil fuels? Coal is a fossil fuel. Petrol, diesel, natural gases. Those are the different types of fossil fuels we get. Next question, which are the renewable sources of energy? All unconventional sources of energy are renewable. Solar energy, tidal energy, wind energy, biogas energy, all these are renewable sources of energy. Next question, which element is used for production of atomic power? For creation of atomic power, uranium is utilized. Uranium is the heavier metal, uranium is the heavier element which is actually used in controlled chain reaction to create the heat energy. Let's go to the next question. Give scientific reason. A. Deposits of fossil fuel are limited. Okay, why these deposits of fossil fuels are limited, friends? Because we have to think about how these deposits of fossil fuels are created at the first place. Remnant of the plants or animals deep down into the layers of the soil, they went through the processes for the millions of years, and this slow and steady process converted them into these fossil fuels. So these fossil fuels are created by nature in due course of lakhs of the years. That means those cannot be created by man in the laboratory in short time of period. So those are not actually renewable. Those are non-renewable sources, and we have limited sources of fossil fuels. Let's see the next one. Solar energy is the source of all forms of fuels. Now we have already discussed even about the fossil fuels, how the energy is trapped into these fossil fuels at first place. Let's think about it. Sun is the ultimate source of energy in our solar system. Whatever energy is received on the earth, it comes from the sun. Now, plants and animals actually absorb this solar energy and convert it into a chemical energy. And then this chemical energy is converted into different sort of energies as per their utilization. When these plants and animals are dead after biodegradation, these energies are again released back into the soil in different forms. But some of the remnants are not biodegraded, they are trapped into the layer of the soils, and in course of lakhs of years, those remnants get converted into fossil fuel. So ultimately, the energy which we get from these fossil fuels, ultimate source of the energy for this fossil fuel is also a sun. So the solar energy is the source of all forms of fuels. Let's go to the next one. Natural gas is convenient to use as a fuel. There are 3-4 scientific reasons for that. 1. Gases are highly combustible. They start burning very easily. Second, those do not leave any residue behind. Natural gases do not create more pollution as they do not produce any residue. They mostly burn smokeless. That's why natural gas is very convenient to use as a fuel. Now, these natural gases are very easy to transport from one place to another through the pipeline also. So those are safe, and the combustion of these natural gases is controllable. It can be controlled. So natural gases is very convenient source of energy. Let's see the next one. The temperature of the atmosphere is rising. Mainly, carbon dioxide is at the root cause for increasing temperature of the atmosphere. Why this excess amount of carbon dioxide present into the atmosphere? Due to the excessive use of fossil fuels. Use of coal, use of petrol, diesel, that creates the carbon dioxide. It emits the carbon dioxide as a byproduct. Due to the increase in population, due to the increase in industrialization, due to the increase in vehicles, we have started utilizing petrol, diesel, coal tremendously, and burning of all these fuels create the huge amount of carbon dioxide as a byproduct, and this carbon dioxide mixed with our atmosphere actually traps the heat energy, so the temperature of the atmosphere is rising day by day. Let's go to the next question. Fill in the blanks. A. Charcoal is produced by burning wood in dash dash air. Insufficient air. Good. Let's go to the next one. All fossil fuels contain dash dash compounds. All fossil fuels contain hydrocarbon compounds. Next one, dash dash and dash dash are renewable sources of energies. Any two renewable sources of energy can be the answer, like solar energy and tidal energy, or solar and wind energy are the renewable sources of energy. Last one, in Maharashtra there is an atomic power project at dash dash. We all know that in Maharashtra there is an atomic power project at Tarapur. Let's go to the next question. Match the following. In column A, we have got 4 options: mineral oil, atomic energy, wind energy, and fossil fuel. In column B, we have buried plants and animals, renewable energy sources, uranium, and petrol. Now, we can match like this: A. Mineral oil to the petrol, B. Atomic energy to uranium, C. Wind energy to renewable energy sources, and D. Fossil fuel with buried plants and animals. So friends, this was all about the question and answer and the discussion about sources of energy. I hope our today's discussion have helped you understand this topic, sources of energy, with very deep concern and different perspective. Stay tuned to Study Spectrum, keep studying hard and have fun. Thank you very much.